I never thought my perfect clockwork life could unravel in a single morning. I'm Chloe, living in a pristine suburban bubble where every spoon, every smile is in its rightful place. Until today, when a burst pipe flooded more than just my kitchen. It washed away the numbness, dragging a stranger into my world with eyes that saw right through my carefully built walls. As water soaked my floors, something forbidden ignited in me, a heat I hadn't felt in years. But now, as I stand in the wreckage of my choices, I hear the front door click open, and my heart stops. Who's there? And what will they see in the chaos I've created? Picture this, a world so orderly, so polished, that even the dust seems to know its place. That's my life. My name is Chloe, I'm 40 years old, and I've been married to Daniel, who's 42, for 15 years now. We've built our existence in a quiet, suburban neighborhood in Ohio, in a house where chaos wouldn't dare to tread. Every single thing has its spot. Spoons nestle in the left drawer, books stand shoulder to shoulder in alphabetical order on the shelf, and even our toothbrushes line up like soldiers on the bathroom counter. There's a comfort in this precision, I suppose, but it's a cold kind of comfort, the kind that chills you to the bone if you linger on it too long. Our days are carved in stone. The alarm pierces the silence at 6:30 a.m., sharp and unforgiving. Breakfast is at 7 always oatmeal for me, toast and black coffee for Daniel. By 7:45, he's out the door, off to his accounting job, his briefcase swinging like a pendulum. I stay behind, a freelance graphic designer tethered to my home office, staring at a screen that feels more alive than the walls around me. Our life together is like a white wall, pristine, unblemished, untouched by anything resembling spontaneity or fire. There's no mess, no color, no stray brushstroke of passion to mar the surface. It's just there. And so are we. We haven't argued in years, Daniel and I. Not a single raised voice or slammed door. But we haven't laughed either, not the kind of laughter that bubbles up from your soul and spills over. We haven't touched each other with any real warmth in just as long. Our interactions are mechanical. A well-rehearsed script we've memorized without ever questioning the lines. Every morning, he mutters a polite, "Good morning," over the rim of his coffee mug, his eyes fixed on the newspaper. I respond with a curt, "Have a good day," as I clear the dishes, my hands moving on autopilot. There's no lingering glance, no brush of fingers, nothing to suggest we're anything more than roommates sharing a meticulously curated space. The house is silent most of the time. It's a heavy kind of quiet, broken only by the low hum of the refrigerator or the relentless tick of the clock on the wall. Sometimes I catch myself listening for something, anything, to disrupt the stillness. A creak, a shout, a burst of life. But it never comes. I move through the rooms like a ghost, tracing the edges of a life that feels more like a blueprint than a home. I design logos and layouts for clients I'll never meet, pouring whatever creativity I have into pixels, while the real world around me remains grayscale. There are moments, fleeting and sharp, when I remember what it used to be like. The way Daniel's hand would find mine under the table at dinner. The way it's just past 7:50 a.m., and the house is quiet again. The kind of quiet that presses against your ears after Daniel's car pulls out of the driveway. I'm at the kitchen sink, rinsing the last of the cereal bowls, the water running in a steady, predictable stream. The morning light filters through the window above, casting pale streaks across the countertops, everything in its place as always. Then, out of nowhere, there's this deep, unsettling gurgle, like the house itself is choking on something. Before I can even process it, a sharp pop echoes under the sink, and water, cold, relentless water, starts spraying everywhere. It's shooting out from beneath the cabinet, soaking the pristine white doors, drenching the linoleum floor in a matter of seconds. My heart lurches into my throat as I drop the sponge, my hands fumbling to twist the faucet off, but it doesn't do a thing. The deluge keeps coming, a chaotic force I can't control, pooling around my feet and seeping into my socks. I'm panicking now, my breath coming in short, ragged gasps as I grab my phone off the counter, water dripping from my fingers. I dial Daniel, my voice trembling as I stammer out what's happening. There's water everywhere. It's spraying from under the sink. I don't know what to do. I'm almost shouting, the words tumbling out in a rush. He's calm on the other end, his voice steady and detached, like he's reading from a manual. I'll call a plumber right now. Just let him in when he gets there, he says, his tone flat but somehow reassuring. Then, almost as an afterthought, he adds, I trust you. I hang up, a flicker of irritation sparking in my chest at how distant he sounds, like this is just another item on his to-do list. But I shove the feeling down. No time to dwell on it now. I spend the next hour in a frantic blur, grabbing every towel I can find. Kitchen rags, bath towels, even an old beach towel from the closet, and mopping up the mess. My hands are shaking, not just from the icy water, but from this sudden, jarring break in our carefully controlled world. The kitchen, once a sterile sanctuary, is now a disaster. The white cabinets, usually spotless, are streaked with dampness, beads of water clinging to the edges like tears. The air smells of wet wood, sharp and earthy, a scent that doesn't belong in this space. My socks squish with every step I take, the cold seeping into my bones as I pace back and forth, trying to salvage what I can. The linoleum is slick underfoot, reflecting the overhead light in uneven patches, and I can't help but stare at the chaos, feeling like it's a mirror to something I can't quite name. By 9 a.m., I'm a mess. Damp jeans clinging to my legs, hair plastered to my forehead, and my nerves frayed to the breaking point. The doorbell chimes, a sharp sound cutting through the damp silence of the kitchen, and I nearly slip on the wet floor in my rush to answer it. I swing the door open, and there's Mark. The plumber Daniel must have called. He's in his late 30s, I'd guess, with a rugged kind of look. Broad shoulders, a jawline dusted with stubble, and hazel eyes that flicker with a quiet intensity. He's carrying a toolbox, his faded gray t-shirt already smudged with grease, and he gives me a quick nod, his voice low and steady as he says, "Heard you've got a leak. Mind showing me where?" I stammer out a response, pointing toward the kitchen, my damp socks leaving little puddles on the hardwood as I lead the way. We get to the sink, and he sets his tools down with a clatter, crouching to peer into the cabinet. I'm standing a few feet away, pretending to tidy the counter, wiping at the same spot over and over with a rag, but my eyes keep drifting to him. The way his shoulders flex under that worn t-shirt as he maneuvers in the tight space, the beads of sweat gathering at the nape of his neck. It's hard to look away. His hands move with a kind of rough precision, tools clinking as he mutters to himself about a corroded joint. "This thing's been waiting to give out for a while," he grumbles, his voice muffled under the sink. I murmur something vague in agreement, barely listening, too caught up in the way his arms tense with each twist of the wrench. Then, out of nowhere, he shifts, sitting back on his heels and looks up at me. "Mind if I take off my sweater? It's hot in here," he says, already shrugging it off before I can even process the question. I nod, my throat suddenly tight, unable to tear my gaze away as the fabric lifts, revealing the hard lines of his frame, muscles shifting with the movement. He tosses the sweater aside, and I feel my cheeks flush, a warmth spreading through me that has nothing to do with the room's temperature. He goes back to work, seemingly oblivious, and starts making small talk, his tone casual. "Nice kitchen, clean design, real sharp," he says, then adds, almost offhand, "and your perfume's interesting." I'm caught off guard, my hand pausing mid-wipe as I stammer, "Oh, it's just lavender body lotion." My voice sounds shaky, and I can feel heat creeping up my neck, prickling my skin. The air in the room feels heavier now, thicker, like it's pressing down on me. The faint drip of water from the pipes mixes with the uneven rhythm of my breathing, and I can't seem to steady myself. I'm hyper-aware of every sound, every movement, his tools scraping against metal, the rustle of his shirt as he reaches for something. At one point, he turns to grab a wrench from his toolbox, and his hand accidentally brushes against my thigh. It's just a fleeting touch, barely a second, but I freeze, my skin tingling where his fingers grazed me. I don't step back. I can't. My heart is pounding so hard I'm sure he can hear it. He looks up, those hazel eyes locking with mine, and whispers, "Sorry." But there's something in his tone, a question hanging there, unspoken but loud in the silence between us. And then it happens. I don't know how to explain it, except that it feels like a short circuit, like a machine that's been running on autopilot for too long finally sparks and burns out. My hands move before my mind catches up, reaching for him, trembling but sure. His rough palms find my skin, warm and calloused, and the cold tile of the kitchen floor presses against my back as we sink down, surrounded by scattered tools, damp towels, and stray water droplets. It's quick, messy, raw, a collision of need and recklessness that's nothing like the ordered, sterile life I've built. I'm still catching my breath, the cold tile of the kitchen floor biting into my skin as I try to piece myself back together. My heart's hammering, a wild drumbeat in my chest, and I can barely process what just unfolded. Mark stands up, wiping his hands on a rag with a kind of nonchalance that makes my stomach twist. He looks down at me, a half-smile tugging at the corner of his mouth, and says, "The pipe's fixed, but something else seems to have burst." His words hang heavy in the air, loaded with a meaning I can't quite grasp, and a jolt of unease shoots through me, sharp and cold. I'm still sprawled on the floor, fumbling to pull my shirt back into place, my fingers clumsy and unsteady. My mind is a storm, swirling with flashes of what just happened, those fleeting, heated moments that felt like a wildfire breaking through years of frost. My back aches from the hard tile, a dull throb that grounds me in this surreal aftermath. I can still feel the lingering warmth where his hands were, a ghost of contact that makes my skin prickle even now. As I push myself up, my hands tremble, betraying the chaos inside me. I can't look at him. Not yet. My eyes dart to the scattered tools, the damp towels still bunched up in corners, the faint sheen of water on the linoleum. Anything but his face. I mutter something about getting him a glass of water, my voice sounding hollow, like it belongs to someone else. It's a weak attempt to claw back some normalcy, to pretend the last few minutes didn't just shatter the careful boundaries of my life. Mark nods, his movements casual as he starts packing up his tools, the clink of metal against metal sounding too loud in the suffocating quiet. He doesn't seem rattled at all, and that only makes me feel more exposed, like I'm standing here with every layer of myself peeled back. My body is a tangle of tension, every muscle coiled tight. My shoulders hunch as I move toward the sink, gripping the edge of the counter to steady myself. I avoid his gaze, keeping my eyes fixed on the faucet as I fill the glass, but I can feel him there, just a few feet away. The kitchen feels smaller now, the walls pressing in, the air thick with all the things we're not saying. My thoughts are a mess, spiraling in directions I can't control. What does this mean to him? Does it mean anything at all? I don't even know if he's married, if there's someone waiting for him at home, someone who'd be as blindsided by this as I am by my own actions. The thought hits me like a punch, and I grip the glass tighter, the cold seeping into my palm. I've just crossed a line I can't uncross. And for what? A fleeting rush, a moment of escape from the grayscale routine I've been sleepwalking through for years? And then there's Daniel. The weight of his name in my mind feels like a stone dropping into still water, sending ripples of dread through me. What have I done to us? To the life we've built, sterile as it may be? I've spent so long craving something, anything, to break the monotony, to feel alive again, But now that I've tasted it, I'm drowning in the aftermath. The thrill that coursed through me just minutes ago is already souring, replaced by a creeping fear of what this could cost me. My marriage, my stability, the quiet predictability I've clung to even when it felt like a cage. Did I just throw it all away for a spark that might not even matter to the man standing across the room? I turn back toward Mark, the glass of water in my hand, and force myself to meet his eyes for a split second. Those hazel eyes are unreadable, giving nothing away, and it only deepens the knot in my chest. I'm about to ask for his invoice, to wrap this up and get him out of here before I unravel completely when I hear it. A faint click from the front door. My heart stops, a cold sweat breaking out across my skin. That faint click from the front door? It's like a gunshot in the silence, piercing through the haze of my thoughts. My breath catches, and the glass of water nearly slips from my trembling fingers as I whip my head toward the sound. Through the glass door leading to the hallway, I see him. Daniel. He's standing there, his lunch bag dangling from one hand, his posture rigid, his face a mask I can't decipher. My stomach drops, a sickening lurch, as I realize he must have come home early. Maybe he forgot something, or maybe he just wanted to check on the repair. But whatever the reason, he's here now, and I'm frozen, caught in the wreckage of my own choices. Time seems to slow to a crawl, each second stretching into eternity. I can feel the weight of his gaze even through the glass, those eyes, usually so distant, so detached, locking onto mine with a clarity that cuts right through me. It's not just a look, it's a blade, sharp and unrelenting, peeling back every layer of pretense I've hidden behind. He doesn't move at first, doesn't make a sound. He just stands there, taking in the scene before him. Me, disheveled, my hair a tangled mess, my shirt still slightly askew despite my frantic attempts to fix it. Mark, just a step too close, still holding a wrench in his hand as if nothing's amiss, his casual stance a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside me. The wet floor glistens under the kitchen lights, scattered tools glint like evidence of a crime, and the charged silence hangs heavy, suffocating. It's all laid bare, every detail screaming a truth I can't deny. My chest tightens, a vice squeezing the air from my lungs as I wait for the explosion I'm sure is coming. I brace myself for him to yell, to storm in with accusations flying, to shatter the quiet with the kind of anger I haven't heard from him in years. My mind races, scrambling for excuses, for some way to explain this away, but nothing comes. I'm trapped in this moment, pinned under the weight of his stare. But then, when he finally speaks, it's not the outburst I expected. His voice is quiet, almost a whisper, as if he's speaking more to himself than to me. So you can still feel, maybe not all is lost. The words hit me like a physical blow, cutting deeper than any shout ever could. There's no rage in his tone, no venom. Instead, there's a strange, aching sadness, a resignation that I don't understand, and it unravels me in ways I can't name. I feel a wave of shame crash over me, hot and suffocating, mingling with a confusion that claws at my insides. What does he mean by that? That I can still feel? My mind reels, trying to parse the weight behind his words, but I'm drowning in the raw emotion of this moment. I want to call out to him, to say something, anything, to bridge the chasm that's just opened between us, but my throat is tight, my voice lost. My hands clench at my sides, nails digging into my palms as I stand there, rooted to the spot. Daniel's eyes linger on me for one more agonizing second, and then he turns. He doesn't slam the door, doesn't storm off in a fury. He just walks out, the glass door closing behind him with a soft, final click that echoes in my ears like a death knell. I'm left standing on the wet tile, the cold seeping into my bare feet, my heart pounding so hard it feels like it might shatter my ribs. The kitchen is suddenly too quiet, the absence of Daniel's presence a void that swallows everything. Mark clears his throat behind me, the sound jarring in the stillness. I'll send the bill later, he mumbles, his voice low and awkward, as if he's just as eager to escape this mess as I am to forget it. I don't turn to look at him. I can't. I hear the shuffle of his boots, the clatter of his... I'm still standing on the wet kitchen tile, the cold biting into the soles of my feet like a quiet reprimand. The house has fallen silent again, an oppressive kind of hush that feels heavier than before, as if the walls themselves are holding their breath. But it's different now, fractured, like the burst pipe was just the first crack in something much larger. Something I can't repair with a wrench or a towel. I glance around at the remnants of this chaotic day, the physical evidence of everything that's unraveled. A heap of damp towels sits in the corner, crumpled and exhausted, soaked through with the mess I tried so desperately to contain. The air carries a faint, lingering scent. Mark's sweat, sharp and musky, mixed with the metallic tang of his tools, a reminder of moments I can't erase from my skin or my mind. And then there's the sink, looming over the room like a silent judge. It drips one last time, a slow, deliberate plink against the basin, as if it's mocking me, taunting me with the idea that some leaks can't be fixed. My thoughts keep circling back to Daniel's words, those quiet, piercing words that cut deeper than any accusation could. So you can still feel. Maybe not all is lost. I turn them over in my mind, dissecting every syllable, trying to uncover what he meant. Was he saying I'm still capable of passion, of wanting something beyond the sterile routine we've built? Or was he pointing to the betrayal, the jagged edge of my actions, suggesting that feeling, any feeling, comes at a cost I'm only beginning to understand? I don't have an answer, and that uncertainty gnaws at me, a restless ache in my chest. I don't even know if he'll come back tonight. I don't know if he'll come back at all. And the scariest part? I'm not sure if I want him to. That thought alone feels like a betrayal all over again. A quiet admission that I've been hiding from myself for far too long. My emotions are a tangled mess, pulling me in every direction at once. There's guilt, heavy and suffocating, pressing down on me every time I think of Daniel's face in that doorway, the way his eyes held a sadness I hadn't seen in years. I hurt him. I know I did. And that realization stings like a fresh wound, raw and unrelenting. But beneath that guilt, there's something else. Something I'm almost afraid to name. A flicker of excitement, a lingering heat from those stolen moments with Mark. A rush that woke up parts of me I thought had gone dormant long ago. It's not just about the physical, though the memory of his touch, rough and urgent, still lingers on my skin like a secret I can't wash away. It's the feeling of being seen, of breaking free from the colorless cage of my life, even if just for a fleeting instant. And yet, that thrill is shadowed by a terrifying clarity. I've shattered something fundamental. That white wall of our existence, the pristine, unblemished surface of our marriage, it's not just cracked, it's in pieces, and I don't know if I can put it back together. I don't even know if I want to try. I find myself moving, almost without thought, my bare feet padding across the cold, damp tile toward the kitchen window. I stop there, staring out at the empty driveway where Daniel's car was parked this morning, where it should be now if the world hadn't tilted off its axis. The asphalt is bare, a gray expanse under the fading afternoon light, and the emptiness of it mirrors the hollow space inside me. I catch my reflection in the glass, and for a moment, I don't recognize the woman staring back. My cheeks are flushed, a stark contrast to the pale, controlled mask I usually wear. My eyes are wide, almost wild, brimming with something, fear, longing, maybe both, that I haven't seen in myself in years. It's like I'm looking at a stranger, someone who's been buried under layers of routine and restraint, someone who just clawed her way to the surface and doesn't know what. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.